Hello, bats and ghouls, and welcome to this spooky episode of Aaron's Dollhouse. So, today we are going to have a fun discussion. Today's not going to be an unboxing or anything. I do have like a couple actual like dolls and stuff to show during the video, but we are going to be doing more of a fun like discussion. So, we're going to kind of like hang out and talk about a very interesting topic, which is the Halloween Barbie line that started back in 1996. So I have been doing a lot of different like research and trying to find a lot of different information about this, and not gonna lie, a lot of it's pretty much come up pretty dry, but we are still gonna talk about, this amazing line of Barbie that, unfortunately doesn't exist anymore. And nobody knows why. There's definitely lots of theories and lots of speculation, which we are going to cover that obviously in this video. But yeah, for some reason, Halloween Barbie was discontinued back in 2016. So that was the last time we saw a Halloween themed Barbie doll. So very depressing. But yeah, like I said, it's going to be just kind of like a fun discussion, kind of just going over some theories and talking about this really fun line representing one of my favorite holidays, which is Halloween. So yeah, let's get into it. So first, we have to start off with a little bit of history. Like I said, the Halloween Barbie line started in 1996. This line started off, kicking off with a 2 doll set of Barbie and Kelly. Because yes, my generation was Kelly, not Chelsea. We don't know her. Sorry. But yeah, and it was the set where basically, Barbie, being the big sister that she is taking her little sister Kelly trick-or-treating, and Kelly is wearing this very cute little pumpkin costume. It's so adorable. It's, oh my gosh, so cute. And basically, Barbie's not like wearing anything like spectacular. Her outfit's a little bit more casual, but she does have like a little like Halloween themed sweater on, which is really cute. So, it kind of goes with the theme, but I feel like it was a good kind of like starter to kind of just get it out there of, oh, Barbie can celebrate Halloween. So, and then later on, we ended up having another set with Barbie and Kelly. This time they kind of had more of a cat theme, and this time the sisters were actually wearing kind of matching costumes to go with the theme. So that's really cool. I like that they, did that and actually gave Barbie like an actual costume. And then there was another one that involved Barbie and Ken, and they were basically going to like a Halloween party. This set, they were dressed as pirates. So this one's definitely not one of my favorite like Halloween doll line kind of thing set. I don't know. The costumes are fine and they're cute, but I will say this is a very interesting moment because, fun fact, this is the only Halloween Ken that exists. There was only one. There was never another Halloween Ken after this. So, Ken got the boot. But yeah, so we kind of started off more so with like sets, and then eventually we kind of just made our way over to like regular single like box like Halloween Barbies, and it was just Barbie wearing a different Halloween costume every year. And with this, we had like this point where we had like a generalized release where the Halloween Barbie of that year would be at like different types of like, retail stores. And then there was also like a point where we also started doing like Target exclusive ones, and those could only be found at Target. So there was a lot of Target exclusive ones. Like a lot of the like really nice Halloween Barbies ended up being like a Target exclusive. Not all of them, but a lot of them were. But the first Halloween Barbie that I ever came in contact with, because the previous ones that I had mentioned, I never actually saw them on the shelves. So nothing like nostalgic for me. They're cute. I just never saw them. But the first one I ever came in contact with was the one that my mom had bought for my sister, and it was this girly right here. She is actually one of my favorite Halloween Barbies. I think she is just so beautiful. Classic Halloween. The orange and the black and everything, and she actually has like a fabric hat, as you can see, and then like the flames coming down from her skirt, and like all these different like pieces of fabric and details and stuff, and the boots, so cute. And then she even has orange in her hair, which is really cool. Definitely not a color that you normally see in Barbie's hair because it's usually like pink. So but yeah, this was the first ever Halloween Barbie that I came in contact with, and I feel like it's a good, solid Halloween Barbie to be the first. So definitely a lot of nostalgia with this doll. I do have her trick or treat bag because she did come with one somewhere. I don't know where it is, but it's somewhere. I think it's probably with all my Barbie accessories. But yeah, so she is very nostalgic to me. I do love this doll so much because of that. But um, it's another reason that it does make me sad that they did end up, discontinuing this line. So yeah. So along with this lineup of like Halloween Barbies and having her like in a different costume every year, we also did have multiple different Halloween Kellys that were also standalone. Like they ended up becoming like their own thing for a little bit there. That didn't last as long as the like Halloween Barbies did. Um, they kind of stopped making the Halloween Kellys like a little bit before Barbie ended her line. Um, but yeah, there was a lot of different fun ones, and then there was also like a really big set with like Kelly's friends, and they were all just like wearing different Halloween costumes. This one's actually my favorite set. I would love to own this set one day. It's so cute. But yeah, there were so many different ones, and I think a lot of them were actually Target exclusive as well. Um, Target just had the hold on the Halloween Barbie brand. I don't know what it was, but they just like had most of the claim on it, so which is fine. Um, but yeah, so there was definitely a lot of different ones, and it's so anyone who is a collector of Barbie and anyone who collects Halloween Barbies knows the struggle of if you are someone who's a completionist, which for the most part I'm not, thank God. If you are, that's totally chill, but I'm so sorry because you know the struggle that I'm about to mention, which is 90% of the time when we got a new Halloween Barbie, what was her favorite costume to wear? A witch. She always went as a witch. So many Halloween witch Barbies. Don't get me wrong, there's so many different designs, but so many Halloween witch Barbies. And yeah. So if you are somebody that made it a goal to own every single one that ever came out, you've got a lot of witches in your collection. Which, hey, if a witch is like your favorite Halloween character, then I guess that's not a problem. But I'm very much so a type of person that likes a little variety. And yeah, having that many of the same type of character, even though it's different designs and everything, would be very frustrating for me, at least. It's my personal opinion. Because especially there's so many different types of like Halloween related like monsters and characters and things that they could have based, the costumes on, and they just kind of didn't. There is another Halloween character that did end up getting a few different variations as well. Not as many variations as like the Witch Barbie, but just a few different ones. And that is Barbie dressing as a cat. There are so many for different Halloween Barbie cats. Yeah. She very much so liked dressing as a cat as well. But then we ended up having a few different ones that were just a little bit more off the wall, a little bit more like not a cat, not a witch, but something completely different. One that comes to mind immediately was my favorite one, which is the I want to say is that the Beautiful Halloween Barbie. I might have said that name wrong. But either or, it's her as a ghost. And I actually do have this doll. She's in my collection. She's actually currently on display right now as part of our Halloween display. So, but yeah, and I really, really like her because there's something classic about her that's kind of giving like Universal classic, like Hollywood horror film kind of vibes. I don't know, but I just really, really like the look of her. And her dress, like the front of it, some of the patterning on the dress actually does glow in the dark, which is really, really fun. So, very much so one of my favorites. Another fun one that we got, and I've got her right here, is we have this Halloween Princess Barbie. And she is so, so fun. I love the concept of this doll. Like, very, very fun, very like classic. Ooh, she's shedding a lot of glitter. Halloween Barbie. But yeah, she is gorgeous. I love how they did like her design with, I love this like part that just like drapes down from like her sleeve, with all the like spider webs on it, and then she's got all this like spider web detailing going all the way down the dress. I love how they like cut it like right here. It's really, really fun. And then this like piece in the back, this huge dramatic kind of collar situation. It looks so, so good. And even her hair, I love the way they did her hair, especially with the little like spider in the middle. So, so cute. And her face, she's just absolutely gorgeous. I believe this is, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the Generation Girl's face. And she even has like kind of like an orangish lipstick and like little orange earrings. So, so cute. But yeah, and she even has like a little bit of a train kind of like coming out of the back of her dress. But this was just like such a fun concept. You could tell that they were really having a lot of fun when like creating this design and everything. And they were just like, a Halloween princess. That's a very, kind of out there concept. And it works. It really works. I like the way that they did this. I wish that they would have been a little bit more creative and kind of, did more than just like the standard witch every year or every other year. But this is obviously the example that this is something that they could do that was a little bit more unique. But she is definitely one of my like top Halloween favorites for Halloween Barbie. So yeah, and then another one that they did that's a little bit more unique is they did one where it's like Halloween gypsy kind of costume. This one, I do have her, but this one is a little bit more, I don't know, she's kind of a little bit more controversial. But I do have her here. Her hair needs like a lot of work. But yeah, this is the little like fortune teller kind of vibe that she's supposed to be portraying with her Halloween costume. And don't get me wrong, it is a very nice Halloween costume. Like I feel like it's very, very detailed. I love the earrings. I love her like coin necklace. I think that's really fun. this top, and then especially this skirt. This is so, so fun. But yeah, she is considered a little bit more controversial because, you know, eh, it can fall into the realm of cultural appropriation. But I do think she is like a really fun Halloween Barbie doll. I think she's like really, really pretty. So I am happy to own her, but you know, there is just a little bit of questionableness to it. Um, oh, she also has this like little bandana around her hair. But yeah. And she also has like streaks of red in her hair, which is fun. But other than that, I think she's a beautiful, very like well made like Halloween doll. Now, we ended up in 2011, I believe it was, that we got the first ever like Halloween collectible Barbie. So this was called the Halloween Haunt Barbie. And it's this beautiful, gorgeous girl here. And she is such an iconic Barbie doll within like the collectible dolls. And it is the one and only time that they did actually make a collector's edition version of a Halloween Barbie. So everything previously before that and after that was Playline, so nothing that was actually considered collector. But this was such a gorgeous doll, and it's such a shame that we only got like one collector Halloween Barbie. Um, but yeah, she is definitely beautiful. I feel like she kind of gives a little bit of like Bewitched kind of vibes, you know. Um, one of my like favorite like TV shows that I grew up with as a kid that me and my grandma used to watch together. But so yeah, and it's very, very classic and everything. And it's like, what happened, you know? What changed? Because the other thing is too, around this time, we were still obviously seeing like Halloween Playline dolls coming out. And as we just kept going and going, no surprise, the quality just started taking a dip. And it started reaching the point that it was just getting bad. Like really bad. Um Basically we got like a lot of cheap printed on fabrics. The designs were just not very inspiring anymore. Um it's just it wasn't what we were seeing like previously beforehand, like when we were like getting Halloween Barbies like this and stuff like that, where you can see that there was a lot of quality and everything that went into the design. It's just you can definitely tell that like the quality had dipped and everything, which was a real shame. Um, but it was very clear Mattel was no longer interested in being very creative with this line anymore. At this point, you could tell that they just kind of like had enough and that they were just like, we're just producing them or producing a Halloween Barbie each year just to say we are at this point, just to keep the line going and keep the fans happy. But we're not actually going to put much effort into it, you know, because a lot of the designs were just not very inspiring. They were kind of boring, very much so like Mean Girls with Karen being like, duh, I'm a mouse, you know, that type of vibe. And it's just like, yeah, it kind of just like reached the point where it looked like she'd put on just like a Halloween themed dress and maybe like a headband or something. It was just like, here, I have a costume. Like, and then you had like the previous ones that were very much so like, oh, not only am I here at this Halloween party, but I'm gonna win the costume contest. Like, so yeah, it's a shame that that's where we ended up going with it. And then 2016 came. And we saw our last Halloween Barbie, which, by the way, if you didn't guess it, was another witch. Yeah. And not only was it another witch, but yikes. Yeah. Like I said, Mattel was obviously not interested in putting any more effort into this line, and that shows. Yeah. I have seen reviews of this exact Halloween Barbie before, and she already looks bad enough in the stock photo. It's worse in other people's reviews. Um, I was gonna say one of the reviews that I saw was from Beauty Inside a Box. And yeah, he literally has every single one of the Halloween Barbies ever made in his collection for the most part, I believe. But yeah, and he did like show off that doll, and yeah, yikes. So just not very inspiring, not very exciting, and yeah, it's it's such a shame that we did end on such a sour note. And it's one of those two that I didn't even like realize it at first, because we very much so, because we really liked the Halloween Barbies in our house. We very much so like kept up with like what new one was coming out every single year. We didn't buy all of them, but we just kept up with it. And yeah, I do remember that the following year I was just like, I was looking it up trying to find the 2017 one, and nothing. And then I was like, oh, well, maybe they're skipping a year. And then 2018 came, same thing. And I was just like, oh, still nothing. So then I like finally looked it up and was able to find like a bunch of different discussions and a couple posts related to the subject. And yeah, they said that they're like, 2016 was the last one. They discontinued it. That was it for Halloween Barbie. So again, don't know why. I did so much research trying to like find out if I could find any extra information of any if anybody knew anything about like why they finally just decided to discontinue the line. Couldn't find anything. The only thing I could find was a lot of speculation, and it's kind of speculation that I've thought of myself, which was Mattel is another one of those companies that does do cost cutting measures, and something that they may deem not very popular, like a specific line or something like that, it gets the boot. So it might have been a cost cutting thing that maybe they finally just decided to discontinue that line, because let's be honest, Halloween, even though it is my favorite holiday, will always be overshadowed by Christmas, without a doubt, no matter what. Christmas will always be the holiday, which, don't get me wrong, I love Christmas. I think Christmas is great. And you know, we obviously know Christmas is great because we've had holiday Barbies since the 80s. And that's why it makes me sad, because for the longest time we were getting a Halloween counterpart, you know? And now all we get is Christmas from Barbie, which, let's be real, some of the holiday Barbies we have these days are yikes. So, but that is a different topic for a different day. But like I said, that is pretty much all I could find. Just don't know what's going on, why 2016 was the last one, why was this line discontinued? There's so many speculations, so many theories, so many questions. I do think it could have been a cost-cutting measure, but if anybody actually knows any like actual information on this, please share about it in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts, even if it's just, I was gonna say, if you guys also have speculation and theories on the subject, yeah, please share about it in the comments. I love, a good discussion. I love like talking about, oh, why did they do this, or oh, maybe it was because of this, you know. But yeah, because I would love to know something. Like I said, I can't find anything on the internet that actually has like confirmed the reasoning why they discontinued it. It was just kind of like they silently did it. We just never saw another doll from this line again. So I don't know. But if any of you guys have any insight on that, anything you want to share, like I said, mention it in the comments. That is pretty much it though today for today's why am I repeating things? Video. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, definitely give it a like. And subscribe to my channel if you want to see any more fun doll content, unboxings, discussions, anything. And then also check out my Instagram at Erin's Dollhouse. But like I said, you guys have a great rest of your day and a happy Halloween. Bye!